سبحان الله والحمد لله لا إله إلا الله.
Today, inshallah, we will start with the articulation points. We will do fast revision on al-jawf. Before that, we said we have 5 major areas. They are al-jawf first, and then we have the throat, then we have the tongue, then we have the lips, then we have the nasal cavity. We said al-jawf, the oral cavity, we have in it the three mad letters. The three mad letters. When you look to the alphabet, you'll find to pronounce every letter, every one of them has its own secret. Okay? So here we want to know the secret of every letter because this will help us, inshallah, to pronounce the letter with the right way. Okay? Because a lot of people they don't pronounce the letters with the right way because they don't know exactly what is the secret of every letter. For example, in the mudud here, everyone has its own way, own technique. For example, mad with alif, we need to make the tongue flat. La. In mad with waw, we need to circle the lips at the same time. We will raise the back of the tongue. Ooh. Here in mad with ya, we have to make the lower jaw go down a little bit. In the same time, we will raise the middle part of the tongue. E. Here we did the 3 secrets of the 3 mad letters. The 3 mad letters, they have their own mistakes. We have to be attention to avoid them. For example, we said before, for example, Maddouz Alif, we have to be attention. Maddouz Alif is to say he has no personality. That mean what? That mean maybe he will be heavy, maybe he will be light. When will be heavy? If the previous letter is heavy. When will be light? If the previous letter is light. So if I have, for example, one of the 7 heavy letters before Madduz Alif, the sound of Madduz Alif will be heavy. Sa, da, ta, va, kha, gha, qa. But if I have light letter before it, the sound of Madduz Alif will be light. Ma, ba, na, da, the. Okay, so then the first thing, Madduz Alif will follow the previous letter. Then we said in mad with ya, you shouldn't exaggerate more in the sound. You shouldn't say like this e. No, I don't know, need all of this. It's a normal letter e, e. Just we go a little bit down with the lower jaw, and then we will continue the sound. In Maddouz wow, same thing. We shouldn't exaggerate more. We shouldn't make the 2 lips go forward a lot. No, it needs to make it normally. Ooh, ooh, not to be ooh or exaggerate more in the sound or the shape. No, this will be not beautiful. So we have to be attention here to pronounce them normally. We don't want to do something more to out the sound with the right way. No, do it normally. Okay. Just in Madduz Alif, flat tongue. In Madduz Waw, circle the lips with raising the back of the tongue. Madduz Ya, the lower jaw will go down with the middle of the tongue will go up. Okay, and not a lot up. No, very small. Okay. Okay, here the 3 mad letters. What we have more? Yes, in Madduz Ya and Madduz Alif, you have to be attention not to pronounce them with heavy sounds because always Madduz Ya, Madduz Waw, they are light letters. U, E, يوقنون, يعملون, or آمنين. Okay, so we shouldn't pronounce them with heavy sound. Okay. For example, maybe when someone say like this, yeah, another sounds we do it with dude. Sometimes we pronounce them in between. For example, Madduz Alif, instead of pronouncing it straight Alif, no, I do it between Fatha and Kasra, like this, lay. So this sound, lay, is not right. Why? Because this sound we call it imala. And imala, we use it in special situations while we read in the Hafs recitation, but we don't use it all the time. Okay, so we have to be attention. The 3 mad letters, they are straight sounds. Okay, la, u, e. I shouldn't do, for example, between Fatha and Kasra, le, or between ضمة مد or مد with واو and مد with ألف, like this. مفلحون, مفلحون. This sounds not right. What is the secret of this point here? مفلحون. I need to pronounce the مد with واو very well. I have to continue the circling. Continue making the 2 lips doing like circle, not to be between opening and closing. Okay? No, مفلحون, مفلحون. Okay? Because this sound happening a lot, subhanallah. So we have to be attention not to pronounce any one of them in between. No, straight sounds, straight lines. Even we shouldn't do like this. Some sisters start with lower sound and then start to raise it like this. La. So this sound, la, no, we don't need it. From the beginning, the sound is one. Okay. From the beginning, the sound is high. Okay. We shouldn't in the middle try to make it down or up. No, straight line from the beginning. Okay. So then we have to be attention not to pronounce any one of them in between. We have to complete the circling, especially with mad with wow. We shouldn't pronounce anyone with heavy sound except in mad with alif. If we have before it heavy letter, in this case we pronounce the mad with alif heavy. The last point, we shouldn't pronounce these three mad letters with غنة. Okay, so for example, when I say this word يعملوا, when I do يعملون, I have in مد with واو to out all the sound from the mouth. Okay, from the mouth. I shouldn't pronounce it like this. يعملون, يعملون. Here I'm trying to do the sound from the nose. For anyone will hear it will say yes, it's مد with واو. But if you are focused, you'll find the sound is mixing between the nose, the غنة, and the mouth, like this. يعملون, يعملون. Okay, so here we have to be attention not to pronounce or reduce any sound from the nose. Why? Because there is no غنة in these three mud letters. Okay, I want to check myself if I do this sound or not. What I will do to check yourself, you will close your nose, okay, and pronounce these words. يعملون. If I find the sound coming perfect, no غنة sound in the middle, and the nose, nothing in it. Okay, for example, if I want to reduce any sound from the nose and you try to close the nose, you will feel there's something in your nose, right? So, what you will do, you will close your nose and try to pronounce it. If nothing in your nose and nothing affect on your nose, this means the sound is right. Okay, but if I felt there's something stop in my nose and the sound is not completely, or I feel like I want to do it very well, but it's not coming good for me. In this case, you do غنة sound from the nose. Then we have to stop to do it. How I will stop this mistake? Try to, while you out the air, out it from the mouth. Try to make it move towards the mouth, not towards the nose. Okay, this will help you. And the last point here, the three mad letters, their time is 2 counts only. 2 counts only. I shouldn't do it more than of this. And we call it natural mad. We call it natural mad. These three sounds, they are very, very, very important in our language. For example, in English, we say the consonant letters and the vowel letters. So here in the three mad letters, same thing for Arabic language. Okay, if we didn't pronounce the three mad letters with their time, this will affect on the language. For example, when I say قال, not like قال. Okay, here قال, I applied the mad with alif. Okay, so the word comes with the right way and the meaning is clear and is right. But when I say قال, no, قال, we don't have word saying قال. Okay, so these three mad letters, we have to pronounce them with the right way, with the right time. Why? Because it's main part in the sounds. Okay, the natural mad is very, very important, not like the separating mad or mad صلة كبرى. صلة صغرى is very important, but like مد صلة كبرى, no. For all these mudud, separating mad, connecting mad, all these mudud, if we didn't do them, this won't affect on the language, but the natural mad will affect. Okay, for example, the word الطامة. When I say الطامة, normally in the Arabic language, I understand the meaning. I know the meaning. Even I can say where I will find this word in the Quran. Okay, but when I say الطمة without the mad with alif, the meaning completely changes. It has no original meaning. When I say to someone طمة, you say, what is this طمة? Okay, must be there is something wrong in your word, or you hear wrong word. Okay, so natural mad is very, very important in the Arabic language, whatever you pronounce it as Arabic language or you pronounce it in the Quran. Okay, when we miss it or we don't pronounce it and we know here we did mistake in it, we will get on sense. Okay, so we have to learn very well the sound of the natural mad. Okay, the time of it 2 counts only. The natural mad to take 2 counts only. Okay, then we have the throat. In the throat, we have 3 areas. In the throat, we have 3 areas. The first one here, we have the deepest part of the throat, and then we have the middle part of the throat, and then we have the nearest part of the throat. What we say deepest and nearest? Deepest, this mean because it's so far from the back of the tongue, and nearest because so close to the back of the tongue. Okay, then we speak for the tongue. Okay, then here we have the deepest part of the throat. Then here in the middle we have the middle part of the throat, and here we have at the end of the tongue. Here we have after it little bit we have the nearest part of the throat. Okay, here we have the 3 throat areas. Okay, the first letter we have it in the deepest part. We start with the deepest part from down because the air or the sound comes from inside to up. So let's start from inside. Inside here in this place, here, let's to make it more bigger to see it very well. Here in this place in our throat, the deepest part of the throat, we have vocal cords. These 2 vocal cords, subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created it for us to control in the sound. Okay, when the air comes from inside, okay, here the vocal cords will start to move, closing or opening, or do both of them very fast, closing and opening throughout the sound with the right way. As someone is playing with these tools, musical tools, which you use in it the vocal. Okay, so here you will find the sound and the air sensing you control with in it by the vocal cords. Okay. Okay, now before we start, I want to know how I know the articulation point for any letter, any Arabic letter. What I will do, I will pronounce the letter. We will say, for example, I want Hamza. Then I will put Hamza with sukun. Okay, and before it, I will put any letter here. For example, Ba with fatha. Okay, this will help me to know the articulation point for any letter. Okay, so here I have Ba with fatha, and then we have our letter with sukun. Any letter you want to know its articulation point, you will put it with sukun, and before it, any letter with vowel. So here we have Ba with fatha. Then I will say like this: Ba, Ba, Ba. Try to check where the sound will stop or finish. Okay, so for Hamza, because Hamza comes from the deepest part of the throat, so you feel that the sound, he didn't continue moving. It looks like he stopped. Okay, why? Because from here you will find the sound of Hamza. Okay, for here I want to make sure more about this. What I will do more, you can put your 2 fingers here in the chest here, in this bone which you do V shape here. Put your 2 fingers and start to say ba, but under it, directly under the 2 fingers here, you will feel with vibration. Okay, but this vibration is not happening a lot. Why? Because it's closing. Why? Because in Hamza we close the vocal cords. In Hamza we cut the air. Why? To pronounce it with the right way. Then the secret of Hamza, cut the air in Hamza by closing the 2 vocal cords like this. Ba. For example, if I have the word yu'minun, yu'minun. If I lift the vocal cords opening, the sound won't be clear. Hamza. Listen, yu'minun, yu'minun. I pronounced the mad with wow under it. I didn't pronounce the Hamza. Yu'minun, yu'minun. You feel there's no Hamza, completely no Hamza. Why? Because I lifted the vocal cords opening. Now let's try to close it. Yu'minun, yu'minun. You feel with the air, with the sound of the letter. Okay, then the secret of Hamza, if we have it with sukun, we need to close completely the vocal cords and then we open it fastly for the next letter. Okay, the things which we have to be attention about it for Hamza, first thing, we shouldn't pronounce it with qalqala sound. Okay, for example, if I'm someone, I don't know about this, I don't know about the opening and closing the vocal cords in Hamza. So at the same time, I want to pronounce the Hamza very well because, for example, the teacher said to me, not yu'minun, no, it's yu'minun. You have to push in it, pronounce it very well. Okay, then maybe the student, what will do, he will try to pronounce more the Hamza. So in this case, we'll say like this. يؤمنون يؤمنون يؤمنون. So here I did قلقلة. يؤمنون, here I did قلقلة. So we have to pay attention not to pronounce the Hamza with قلقلة sound. What I have to do, catch the letter. يؤمنون minun, controlling it. Okay. Then we shouldn't mix the sound of Hamza with another letter. As we said, if we left the vocal cords opening, the sound of Hamza will move to another letter, which will be the opposite directly, which is Ha. Okay, Ha will come from the same place with Hamza. Okay, then what is the difference between them? Here, opening and closing the vocal cords. In Ha, we leave the vocal cords opening. Listen. Ah, ah, ah. In Ha, we need a lot of air. Even in English, if I want to say hat, ha, 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 we reduce more air. Okay, but in Hamza, no. Okay, so here to separate between Hamza and the Ha with it in the same articulation point, we will control in the vocal cords. In Ha, we leave the vocal cords opening. In Hamza, no, we close the vocal cords. Okay. The next point, we have to pay attention not to pronounce the Hamza with heavy sound, especially if we have after it heavy letter. For example, the word أظلم, Hamza and then ض. So let's write it. Hamza and then ض. Without we feel, we will say like this أظلم, أظلم. So this sound is not right. It's a أظلم. If I said this is heavy Hamza. Okay, so we have to be attention not to pronounce the Hamza with heavy sound, especially if we have after it heavy letter. أظلم, أظلم, not أظلم, not right. Okay, this is the heavy sound and the light sound. Then we have to be attention to not to, if I have two Hamza in the same word coming after each other, we have to be attention not to drop one of them. For example, if I have this word أأنتم, أأنتم, maybe while we read we feel like, oh, here we have to merge them, or no, maybe one of them has sukun, so we have to pay attention not to push on it. Okay, so these thoughts not right, all of it not right. Here, if I have two letters and everyone has vowel, then we pronounce everyone from its place, from its articulation point, by pronouncing both of them. أنتم, both of them has fatha, so we pronounce them normally, two letters. Okay, separating letters. So we have to be attention not to drop any one of them, even at the end, in the middle, whatever, any two letters like this, and everyone has its own vowel, fatha, kasra, dhamma, sukun, or shadda, anything. We have to be attention to pronounce both of them with the right way. Okay. When we maybe we do merging, we will take this interrelations between the letters. But here, take this note: if I have the first letter and they are the same letters, and the first one has nothing above it or sukun, okay, within, and the next one has shadda, in this case we merge them together. In another cases, no. Okay. For example, if I have the first letter has vowel and the second letter has vowel, in this case, no merging. If I have the first one letter has a vowel like this Hamza and the second one has sukun, in this case, no merging. Only if the first letter has sukun and the second one has vowel and they are the same, in this case, we will merge them together. Okay, inshallah, we'll take this more in the relations and in the kinds of merging. Okay, then after Hamza, we have the ha. Here we have the sound of Hamza. Inshallah, you can listen to the video, or let's to try here. Let's open it. I try to share the sound to hear it. Yes, here sharing the sound. Bismillah. Until now, you can't see anything on the tongue. Why? Because the sound didn't move towards the tongue, so that you don't feel with any movings here with the teeth or with the tongue. Okay, so continue listening and looking. Okay, here stop the video. Okay, now here we have the ha. In ha, as we said, we will need the two vocal cords opening. Okay, we want to close them wide to allow to the air to continue moving. Okay, then in ha, we will do the same. We will put ha with sukun to know the articulation point of ha. We will do the same. We will put ha with sukun, and before it, we will pronounce any letter with vowel. For example, as we said, ba with fatha, and then ha with sukun, our letter. And let's just say it bah, bah, bah. And if we put here, if we put the two vocal cords here, sorry, the two fingers here, and you started to pronounce it bah, bah. Under the two fingers, you will feel with a lot of vibration. And why this happening? Because the vocal cords trying to still moving, opening to leave the air, continue moving. Okay. Then in ha, we need the two vocal cords opening to pronounce it with the right way. Mhm. From the mistakes which we pronounce it with ha, we pronounce ha with heavy sound. So we have to be attention here, not to say ha, like the word fiha. It's fiha, not fiha. Fiha, not right. Or tahtaha, maybe we say tahtaha. Okay, so all these sounds not right. We have to be attention to pronounce ha with light sound. Bih, عليها فيها منهم, all of them light letters. Rarely we do this sound, but when we do it without we feel, because all of us or most of us the sound of ha comes with us light. Okay, so this sound won't be popular sound, but coming sometimes happening. Okay, and when it's happened we don't feel with it, so we have to be attention when we pronounce the ha, we pronounce it with light sound. In same time, with all this time of work, when we push more in ha, I found the students when they try to push more with ha to pronounce it with the right way, I find the sound comes not right. So ha, pronounce it normally. Normally ha, don't push on it more to pronounce it with the right way. Okay, you'll find ha comes easily when you don't push on yourself for it. Okay, and this why this happening, because this letter is weak letter. This letter is not strong. Okay, so we shouldn't exaggerate it more. We shouldn't pronounce it more, pushing on it more. Okay, because it's weak letter. Okay, the next thing we have to be attention in ha. Yes, we should pronounce the ha by pushing more with the air, not to be like this. Big. So I don't need all of this. No, pronounce it normally as we said. Okay. And same time, we shouldn't out it from the stomach. Okay. So don't come with it from the deepest part in you. No, no. Take it normally. Big from the from the chest. Okay. Okay, the next thing, if I have two ha, same thing, we have to be attention not to drop any one of them. Like the word wajhi. Wajhi. The first one has ha with kisra, and the second one ha with sukun if we will stop. Okay, so the second ha, maybe without we feel, we leave it. So we have to be attention to pronounce both of them. Special if I will stop on the second one. Okay, wajhi. Not to be wajhi. Wajhe, no, I didn't continue the sound, okay? Wajhe, no. But you will feel I did it, but no, you didn't do it. So we have to be attention if we have how is sukun to pronounce it with the right way. Be attention you did it or not. Then we have to be attention not to mix between ha and ha. And this will happening why? Because I'm trying more to pronounce ha with the right way. So I push on myself so the sound will come ha. Want to come ha, okay? So we have to be attention not to push more on ourselves to pronounce ha or the sound will change. We'll move to the next point, okay? Because ha after the ha after ha directly. So when I push more without I controlling the air will jump to the next point. So here I reach to ha. Okay, so we have to be attention not to push more the air because of ha and because the sound will move to ha. Okay, if I pronounce ha and ha, both of them in the same word, I have to be attention to pronounce both of them. Okay, why? Because ha and ha, they are so close letters. Even in the attributes, you'll find them close. So we have to be attention to separate them. Okay, the next point, I think there's no more notes about ha. Just to see ha with the video.
أه أه أه
Because the sound from the throat, so you can see anything happening to
أه
the tongue.
أه 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 حرف الهاء إه عهدا اهتدى يهلكونه طهر ها هي هو جهنم يلههم وجوههم ها هي هو الأنهار يهيمون اليهود أه إه جهزهم ليطهره يكرههن يوجهه.
Okay, the two notes here, we have to be attention about them. When I hear the video, I found we have to say them. The first thing we have to be attention if I have light heavy letter after ha, like the word طهر. Okay, so طهر we have ta heavy and after the ha ra heavy. Okay, so we have to be attention in the middle ha. We shouldn't drop it or pronounce it with more heavy sound. Okay, so we have to be attention about this point. The other one, when we merge the two hats together, okay, we have word in Surah Al-Nur, yes, إكراههن ومن يكرههن ومن يكرههن يكرههن. Here we have two hats, we merge them together. So then we have to be attention in ha, if I have two hats and we merge them together, we have to pronounce them with the right way. Same time, if I have ha with in the middle between two heavy letters, we have to be attention not to drop it or not to make it heavy. Okay. Okay. Then we have after ha, we finished hamza ha, and then we have ain ha, and we have ain and ha. Sorry, the program stopped. Here we have ain. Okay, what we have in ain? Ain, here we will start to move to the next point. Ain from the middle part of the throat. In ain we will use this place. Okay, here ain from here will be the ain. Okay, so what is happening here in ain? This one here, the viola. I think the name is viola. I can't remember exactly, but this place here will go a little bit back to pronounce ain with the right way. Very small back, not a lot. Okay, when we say let's to apply our way, as we say, our letter will be with sukun, and the previous letter with any vowel. Here we have ba with fatha and ayn sukun. So when I want to pronounce them, ba, ba, ba. When I do it here, this place will go a little bit back, but not completely back. And then the ayn will out. Okay, to pronounce the ayn with the right way, we shouldn't push more on it. Same thing as ha. When I push more, the sound won't be right. Listen to me while I'm pushing. Ba, ba. So the sound will be heavy. Okay, and completely not right because when we read the Quran, we don't need to do something more. Okay, we pronounce it normal. So here we have to be attention in ayn, not to push on ourselves to pronounce ayn with the right way. In the same time, here in this area, we'll make this place will be a little bit tight by back this thing for back little bit. Okay, this is ayn, the technique of ayn. Now, what are the mistakes which we do it in ayn? The first thing, we pronounce ayn sometimes with heavy sound because we want to pronounce it with the right way. So we have to be attention not to push more on ayn. the 2 point, we have to pay attention not to cut the sound in ayn. For example, if I have ayn with sukun like in Surah Al-Fatiha, when I say na'budu, maybe without I say like this, na'budu, na'budu. I try to cut the sound, or I try to push on the ayn, so I drop the sound, or I cut the sound of ayn, so the ayn won't be completely or not right. Okay, so we have to pay attention not to push more, not to be weak, no, in the middle. Okay, then we have to this same thing here, ayn wa sukun. Even this point, we have to pay attention, ayn wa sukun, to pronounce it with the right way. Na'budu, na'budu, not to push more. As we said, yes, ayn here, we shouldn't pronounce it with heavy sound. We have to pay attention not to mix between ayn and ha. Ayn and ha. In ha, when I say ah, I feel here I need more air for ha, but in ayn, no. In ayn, the way will be little bit tight. Why? Because this thing here will go a little bit back, so the way of ayn will be little bit tight. So we have to be attention between ayn and ha. Ha, we leave the air. Ayn, we try to make the way of the air little bit tight. Okay. Okay, Ain is stronger than of Ha, so that here when we back this thing here, the sound will be more sharp. Okay, in Ain more stronger, but in Ha no. In Ha we leave the way a little bit opening, so the sound will be the air will be free little bit in the throat. Okay, in then we have what? Yes, we have to be attention not to pronounce ayn with qalqala sound. Maybe this rarely happening, but maybe happen, especially if we have it with sukun like this. Na'budu, na'budu. If someone trying to read very fast and he wants to say I'm perfect, then while he's moving very fast with ayn, maybe he pronounce it with qalqala. So we have to be attention not to pronounce the letters with qalqala. Then we have. Mhm. Yes, we have to pay attention if we have ayn with shadda. Maybe without we feel we do it strong sound, heavy sound. So this thing too, we have to pay attention not to do it. We have to pay attention not to merge ayn with another letters. So when I see these letters, I have to pronounce them with the right way. Then generally in ayn, we need to pronounce it by back this thing little bit to make the way of ayn tie, and this will help us to pronounce ayn with the right way. The opposite directly. In how we leave the throat little bit opening, so the air will move free little bit. Now let's listen to the video of Ain.
أع 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 أع
So the back of the tongue is go a little up or not?
No, in Ain, no.
أع 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 أع
I don't know why here is stopping. I think this is the last area for it. Okay, let's see the next letter. When I say mm, no, if maybe the back of the tongue will go back, but not up, because when the tongue will go uh, up, the back of the tongue will go up, the sound will be heavy, so it won't go up, but maybe will go back. Okay, just imagine that if I have here the tongue, okay, and this thing here, just to check this previous picture. Subhanallah. So here in Ain, maybe the tongue will go a little bit back to push this area, okay, to push this thing, okay, but want to go up, okay, Sister Masoda, to make it clear, more clear for you. So maybe the
Okay.
tongue, the back of the tongue will go back, not up. Okay, just to move to the next one. I think when we switch on the video, something happening here. Okay, the next letter we have Ain. We said Ain. Ha, Ain. Then we have Ha. Then we took Hamza Ha, Ain, Ha. Now we have Ha. Ha will be from the same place. As we said, in Ha we need more air, more way. The way will be more opening. Why? To pronounce it with the right way, to give it more air. In Ha we need the vocal cords more opening. Okay. Okay, in Ha, what are the notes which we have to be attention about it? We have to be attention not to mix between Ha and Ain. Like here, فَاصْفَحْ عَنْهُمْ. Maybe without I feel I pronounce them together, especially if I'm reading very fast. فَاصْفَحْ عَنْهُمْ فَاصْفَحْ عَنْهُمْ فَاصْفَحْ عَنْهُم. I did separate them very well. So we have to be attention to give everyone its time. فَاصْفَحْ عَنْهُمْ فَاصْفَحْ عَنْهُمْ. Or here, this one Ha and Ha. It's very hard. يسبحه يسبحه. Okay, maybe without I feel I say like this. يسبحه يسبحه. Do you feel with it? يسبحه بحه بحه. So I did pronounce ha with the right way, and same time the ha, it looks like I took the end of ha. So we have to be attention to separate between them. يسبحه يسبحه. Okay, both of them, ha and ha, both of them are weak letters. So we have to be attention about both of them. We have to be attention in ha if I have after it heavy letter, like this word ahata. Maybe without I feel I say like this. Ahata, ahata, no, ahata, ha. No, this sound is heavy sound, so we have to be attention to pronounce how is the light way, light sound, like this. Ahata, ha, not ha, ahata. Okay, the heavy sound in ha comes easily. So we have to be attention to pronounce it with the right way. The next one, we have to be attention not to merge between two hats like this. لا أبرح حتى. Okay, maybe I say like this. لا أبرح حتى أبرح حتى. It's so close to be merging, or let's just say it looks like merging. So we have to be attention to give every letter its time. Okay, لا أبرح. I think أبرح حتى. I think it's ضمة as I remember. Or anyway, both of them has vowel, so we have to pronounce every vowel. Okay, we shouldn't merge them together. We have to be attention not to pronounce ha instead of ha. Like here in merging between them, ha and ha, or replace one of them, replace one of them. So we have to be attention not to do that. Like what? Like mm, maybe hatta, the word hatta. Maybe without I feel so I say like this hatta. No, it's a hatta. Then what we have to be attention not to pronounce ha with vibration like this. Ar-Rahman, here qalqala completely. So we have to be attention not to do it. We shouldn't do this vibration sound. Ar-Rahman, no, we shouldn't do that. Okay, here we have the difference between ha and ain. Look, in ain the way is tie, okay, but in ha no, it's still little bit opening. Same thing like ha and ain like hamza. Okay, yes, there's something here else about ain and hamza. Where I didn't say this note. We have to be attention to separate between the sound of hamza and ain. Why? Because it looks like they are coming from the same line. So we have to be attention. In Hamza, we control more in the air, but in Ain, no. Ain, here we have very small way the air continue moving from it. But in Hamza, no, we cut completely like this. But in Ain, So we have to be attention to separate between the sound of Hamza and Ain. What are the most two surahs we have to be attention about them in this word أعوذ, Surah An-Nas and Surah Al-Falaq, because we read them a lot. Always we read them. So we have to be attention to separate between them very well. If I want to make sure about sound or to memorize the sound, listen to Sheikh Mahmoud Khalil Al-Husari. MashaAllah, he's perfect, especially when you choose Al-Muallim, the teacher. This person, mashallah, in this sheikh, he's great in reading the Quran with the rules of tajweed. It looks like he separate every rule, and you listen to every rule with every letter, give every letter its time. So when you listen to him, you feel it looks like you listen to every word, every letter, every vowel, every sound, everything. So this sheikh, when you want to learn the rules of tajweed, he is number one. Al-Mahmoud Khalil Al-Husari. Especially when you want to repeat after him, choose Al-Muallim. Okay? And when you listen to him very well. What he's doing with Hamza and Ain. You will feel in Hamza controlling the air, in Ain he leave little bit. A'udhu. Okay? When you want to pronounce, to practice on these two letters, try to separate them first and then connect. I start with and then a'udhu. Okay? Not to say them, both of them together in one sound from the beginning. No, separate them, cut the sounds, and then connect them. Cut and then connect. With the time, inshallah, you will do it. Okay, the next one we have in after. We don't want the video because it's stop the program. Okay, here we have غين. Inshallah, he will be the غين and خاء. Inshallah, will be the last two letters today. Then here we have خاء. خاء. In خاء, we will go a little bit up. We will start with the tongue here. Okay, not exactly the tongue, no, but so close to it. Very small place, and then you'll find yourself you started in the tongue. After that, we will start in قاف and كاف, the first letters with the tongue. Okay. So here we have to be attention. Maybe we mix between the sounds of the deepest, the nearest part of the throat and the deepest part of the tongue. The letters of the nearest part of the throat and the deepest part of the tongue. Maybe we mix between them. So we have to be attention to separate these two groups. Okay. غين خاء from the nearest part of the throat. قاف كاف from the deepest part of the tongue. Okay. Okay, let's just start with kha. If I want to check the sound of kha, as usual, we put kha with sukoon and before it any letter with vowel. For example, ba here with fatha and then ghain. Bagh. Bagh. When I do the sound, try to check what is happening in your throat. Bagh. Bagh. I feel this area here. The air start to be here, start to be here. Okay, bag, bag. It looks like cave, a big opening cave here. Start to feel with it, and here the air will start to gather together. Here, because of this, here you will find the sound of ghain heavy. So that ghain, we say it from the heavy letters. Okay, because while we pronounce it, we'll feel all the air comes here. And the end just looks like big cave. Start to feel with it. Bag, بغ. Plus in غين we control more in the vocal cords and the air. So opposite directly in خا, no. In خا we leave the air continue moving. أخ. But in same time you will feel with this cave here in خا. So غين and خا, both of them from the heavy letters. Okay, because of this thing, you'll feel all the air comes here and start to gather together. It's big cave happening, and you feel with the air in it. Okay, in غين and خا. But in غين we control in the air. خا, no, we leave the air continue moving. After we feel with gathering, we leave it to continue moving in خا. What are the notes which we have to be attention about it in غين? In غين we have to be attention if we have around it light letters, we have to be attention to pronounce the ghain heavy, and the letters which they are light, we have to pronounce them light. Like here, ghafir. So here the fa is light, so I shouldn't say ghafir, fir. No, the fa is light, heavy, so we shouldn't do this. So here we have to be attention to pronounce ghain heavy and the fa here light. Ghafir, fir. Okay. The next thing, if we have غين والسكون, we have to be attention not to pronounce it with قلقلة like this. يغشى. يغشى is not right. We have to be attention not to do the قلقلة sound. Catch the air. يغشى. You will feel with this cave happening. يغشى. Okay, you will feel here this area start to make up the cave and a lot of air in it, so the sound will be very clear and heavy. يغ يغشى. Okay. The next point, we have to be attention to mix between غين and خاء. special with these words يغشى and يغشى and يخشى, both of them in Surah Al-Nazi'at. We have to pay attention to separate between غين and خا. يغشى يخشى. Okay, even in the meaning, subhanallah, both of them different. يغشى means something covers something, and يخشى, you feel fear from something. Okay, so both of them different, they are not the same in the meaning. So we have to pay attention. The ayah which I'm reading it, we have غين or خا, and separate them and pronounce them with the right way. Okay, if we have here saying avoid circling the lips while we pronounce the غين, yes, that's right. We have to pay attention not to say pronounce the غين like this. Yo, yo. I have students of Allah is doing this a lot. When I tell him, no, don't try to do the cave here, the cave, we shouldn't do it here, no, do it here in the back, so you want to do anything with the lips. Okay, when I say like this, yo, to pronounce the ghain with the right way, no, the sound is not good. So we have to pay attention to not to use the lips in the heavy letters. All the heavy letters we want to use the lips. The lips will be in maddu waw, or the four letters which comes from the lips. Okay, so we have to pay attention not to pronounce, not to use the circle with the heavy letters. The secret of the heavy letters, you will raise the back of the tongue. Okay, but we want to use the lips. Same thing with ضاد, صاد, ضاء, طاء, غين, خاء, all of them, قاف, all of them. We want to use the lips. Okay. Okay. Then what we have. We said mixing between غين and خاء in the sounds. We have to pay attention about it. Okay, this is غين. Now let's move to
أغ
خاء. I want to show you subhanallah the video, but he's still in the middle. Okay, here we have the last one in the throat, خاء. خاء is very easy, subhanallah. It's easier than of غين. But we need to leave the air a little bit to continue moving, and you will find the sound coming with the right way. Look to the place for these two letters. You will feel in غين you control more a little bit, in خا no. But when you look, you feel they are the same, because both of them, the back of the tongue will raise, because both of them, they are heavy letters. Okay. Okay, in غين, as we said, we control more in the airs. In خا no, we leave it. Okay, what we have from the mistakes which happening with خاء. Sometimes we pronounce خاء from the qalqa letters like this. أخرج is not right. We shouldn't pronounce خاء letters with qalqala sound if they are with sukun. Okay, it's أخرج أخرج. We have to pay attention not to pronounce more the sound of ha, because I want to make it perfect. So maybe I start to exaggerate more in the sound of ha. No, we have to pay attention not to do that. Okay, like here يخلد يخلد فيه مهانة. I shouldn't say like this يخلد. No, make it normally يخلد. Okay, I should exaggerate more in the sound of ha. The next one, as we in the same note here, we shouldn't mix between the sound of ha and sound of ghain. We separate both of them, and we have to look to the verse what we have, yaghsha or yakhsha, because in the meaning they are very different. But subhanallah, when you look to the letters, they are the same, even at the end. Sha sha, yeah, but only the ghain and kha. We have to pay attention to check which one was us, ghain or kha. In same thing here, we have to pay attention not to exaggerate more in the sound, because we want to say here we have kha with heavy sound. No, pronounce it normally. If you do it with the right way, you raise the back of the tongue and you control in the air, the sound of kha will comes perfect. Okay. Even if we have kha or ghain with kasra, we same thing. We have to not to try to exaggerate more to do it with heavy letter, because the kasra is the last level of heaviness. So it must be we will feel with difference between the sound of kha or ghain with kasra and the sound of kha with ghain or ghain with fatha, because fatha or madduz alif, it's the highest level of for heaviness, but for kasra it's the lowest level. So must be you will feel with difference between the two sounds. So we shouldn't exaggerate more in the sound of ghain or kha with kasra. Inshallah, we will stop here, and next time, inshallah, we will start in the throat, and I hope we finish it inshallah before the Eid. See you inshallah next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Subhanallah walhamdulillah.